Hi guys, it's Daniel slash Joe here. Just doing a bit of a catch up on life, I suppose. And for those of you who don't know, I'll do an introduction as well. So my name is Daniel. I do prefer to be known as Joe now, but it's not really a major issue. If you call me Daniel, that's fine. Um, I'm based in Burnie, Tasmania at the moment. However, I will be going to Launceston next year to study. That should be fun. Um, I'll be 32 in about a week, so that's exciting. Another year's come and gone. Um, yeah, I basically, I don't know, I love geography, I love genetics, I love aviation, Harry Potter quizzes, go Ravenclaw, uh, books, poetry, nature, the stars, photography. I have a lot of passions. Um, yeah, so I'm getting out of Burnie to pursue a new start, to have a new, to have a new start. So the last time I would have made a video, I would have been married. Unfortunately, that's no longer the case. So yeah, getting out of this town will, I think, help excuse me, help sort of establish just a new start, you know. Um, yeah, that's pretty much it for the personal side of things. Um, so I guess this video is really, like, the main focus is what the 4 conditions I have are, and you know how they affect people as a general. So the first one, and I think is the overall, reason behind my conditions, is called Witteveen-Colk syndrome, or better known as 15q24 deletion syndrome, or SYN3A deletion. Yeah. Essentially, what Witkos is it's a deletion or a misspelling or a micro deletion in the information on the long arm of the 15th chromosome. So just a little bit of a genetic background. P is the short arm, Q is the long arm. Yeah, so things can be swapped over. So mine is a misspelling. So where it's meant to be, I think, C to G or A to C, and mine's G to T or something like that. So yeah, misspellings are a little bit more rare than just the regular old deletion. With the deletion comes a lot of facial or craniofacial deformities, be that eyes wide apart, very high bridge of nose, smooth philtrum, which is this part here, a lot of craniofacial issues. There's a lot of learning disabilities, walking, speech. Some kids are deaf. There's a lot of brain development and function issues that stem from regular SYN3, like the Witkos. So, yeah. So mine is not as severe, I suppose, in that case. I do have, I would say, autism. I don't know. It's never been proven, but I have the symptoms of it. Yeah, I guess you just learn to get over it or deal with it in your own way. So yeah, Witkos is a 1 in 1 million base level, which is really cool. It's been around since, I believe, 1982. Found by 2 Dutch or Swedish um, geneticists. They noticed that things were different in a bunch of people, discovered this gene was the one that was responsible for all the variations. So I believe Witkos has 120 odd conditions related to Witkos. So, for example, I have five visible things, or relatable things from Witkos. The first one, and I suppose the main one, is actually I'll go from the beginning. Sorry. First one, major one, was I was born with a diaphragmatic hernia. So yeah, so my stomach and my intestines were up here, just up here. They're meant to be down here. So yeah. Now most hernias are picked up on the ultrasounds at 12 whatever time, each trimester. Not for mine, because I guess they didn't notice it. Mine went undiagnosed for 8 weeks. Now that doesn't seem like a long time, but when you're a baby and you're short, very small, I'm talking head, toes. That's it. And only a very low birth weight. So I think it was 5 pounds 10 ounces, or 2.5 kilos. When you're that big or small, and not eating for that 8 weeks, things start to get a little bit less chirpy. Basically, they just couldn't figure out why. When they did the ultrasound or X-ray and found the hernia, they were like, right, fly me down to Hobart and put in a G-tube, try to feed me up. Didn't work. So yeah, they were like, you have a 15% chance of living. Had to do the surgery, otherwise I would have died anyway. But here I am, with a wicked scar and survival story. So in a nutshell, CDH, which is congenital diaphragmatic hernia, that is diagnosed 2,500 times a year, which is fairly rare. Unfortunately, it has a very high mortality rate of about 70%. So a lot of babies don't make it past a few weeks, unless they have surgery right away. And the severity of the hernia can vary. Mine was in the middle, so it was a hiatal, hiatal hernia. You can have it on the left or right side, and it all depends on how much of the internal stuff comes in. So mine was just a portion of the liver and intestines and stomach. So whenever I'd try to eat, it would be stopped here. The stomach would go, right, it needs to be broken down, send up the bile and stomach acids, and that's where my problem began. That's when I'd spew things up. So yeah, surgery for a baby, just a normal repair. Just put it back in where it's meant to go. As an adult, I've got another one growing in the same spot, so I guess they grow again. I didn't know that. I'll need surgery again to take it out or repair it. My dad had a same hernia in, he was 50, I think 55 when he got his repaired. So he survived, he's still alive, but he lived with it for 55 years. So it all depends if it's painful, what it's doing, where it is. Now, so a bit of medical background on the diaphragmatic hernia. It's in this case for Witkos, it affects the CHD CHD gene, if it's a genetic issue, and it tells the diaphragm to not fully develop. Hence the hole, hence the intestines and liver and spleen, and all of that go on a little road trip. So that's that one. The next one is the second, I'd say, the second most life-changing one for me, and that's Kalman syndrome, or congenital hypogonadotropic hypogonadism. That, in a nutshell, is a mutation on the X chromosome, and it essentially two of 96 genes are mutated. Now, for people with no sense of smell, it's anosmic. One of the definite chromosomes that is affected is ANOS1. I don't mean chromosomes, I mean genes, sorry. Is ANOS1, which is anosmin. Yeah. It could be a number of 96 confirmed genes that cause Kalman syndrome, sorry. If you have normal sense of smell, it's called anosmic hypogonadotropic hypogonadism. Essentially, when you were born and when you were still in production or in vitro, I suppose, the brain that develops GnRH, which is gonadotropin releasing hormone, which is essentially a growth hormone that gets sent to the pituitary and then which gets sent to the hypothalamus. Yeah, sorry, I had a really bad mind block then. It gets sent to the hypothalamus and then gets sent everywhere. That doesn't happen. So I guess you can think of it as like a neural highway. It has a traffic jam, if you will. It doesn't get sent to the olfactory bulb. They don't grow, hence no sense of smell. So like I can smell, I don't know. I don't have food in my room, which is different. Anyway, I could smell anything. My nose would go, yep, it's going in here, but it doesn't reach the brain because the neural highway's closed now. So yeah, that's normal Kalman syndrome. Now, it's 1 in 10,000 for blokes, 1 in 40,000 for girls. You can generally tell for males at around 9 years old. They tend to develop, I guess, their genes a bit quicker, or their puberty and whatever, penile growth, all that kind of thing. For women or for girls, you can't tell until about 12 when they're, I think it's called budding, when their breasts are starting to grow and all of that kind of thing. All of the periods is beginning to start. That doesn't happen. That's amenorrhea, I believe it's pronounced, and that's the lack of period in a girl. And then just for blokes and girls, we don't start puberty until medical intervention is included. So I went through my entire high school life without getting treatment. That was fun. No, that was not fun. I was 15 or 16 when I got started treatment. My dad and I went down to Launceston. We was living in Cobar at the time. That's in New South Wales, and we went down to Lonnie, had my MRI, and they were like, yep, immediately it was Kalman syndrome. Been on tons of treatment. I've been on treatment since 2008, so 16 years worth. Started Pregnal, which is a HCG, human chorionic growth hormone. And then I went on to Reandron, which I'm on now. Reandron is 1,000 milligrams or 4 mils of testosterone straight. So that comes with its benefits and issues. Kelvin syndrome is a lifelong treatment. You cannot stop it. It's just something you have to live with. We blokes take testosterone replacement. Women take estrogen. Now, some of the other conditions that are associated with Kelvin syndrome are brachydactyly, which I think is longer fingers or shorter fingers. You can be born with one kidney. One I do have and I find quite interesting is bimanual synkinesia. So essentially what that is I will pick up something with this hand and my hand will do the same movement. I find it more prominent with if I'm picking up something with my foot, my hand will do the same movement, which is really it's kind of cool. I think it's kind of clever. Cleft palate, cleft lip, more facial deformities as well, and I think that's just from the many number of genes that can be affected. Yeah. Now, the most important or the most life-altering one for me, and that's affected from Witkos, is epilepsy. Mate, I tell ya. So I've been having seizures for 10 years. I just had another one Wednesday night at work. So epilepsy, as most of you should know, is I suppose electrical misfiring in the brain, which causes muscular spasms, blackouts, incontinence, you name it. Epilepsy does it. Now, there's a difference between epilepsy and a seizure. A seizure can be caused by a number of things: weed, different medication, strobe lights, or the whole kit and caboodle. Epilepsy is a diagnosis of continual epileptic or seizural conditions, whether it's known or unknown causes. One is a temporal lobe issue. So whenever I have an aura, which is some people get auras when they have migraines. They'll see things blurred out. They'll hear things that aren't really there. It's kind of like a warning. Mine is deja vu, and auditory hallucinations. So I'll hear things that aren't there and have deja vu. When I had mine on Wednesday, I had, in a span of like 3 minutes, I had a lot of small ones. They're called myoclonic seizures. And my speech gets affected, like I can't speak properly, very dizzy, all that kind of stuff until that big one happens. And yeah, so I was sitting in a chair like this. Yeah, just a normal office chair. And I had it sitting up, and I've never done that before, so yeah, it was cool. I give mad props to my workmates, team leaders who helped me with that one. Yeah. So, epilepsy, 2014 diagnosis. However, I did have 2 seizures on my rollerblades beforehand while I was rollerblading. Now, we just thought it was vasovagal syncope, which is a disruption in the vasovagal nerve in your throat or collarbone area, which causes blackouts. And syncope is the blackout, like if passing out word for it. So they just thought it was that, and then they thought it was Wolff White Parkinson, something like that. Wolff Parkinson White, sorry. It's a heart condition where it just fires off at the wrong time, causing you to pass out. So I had all the tests for that. That was negative, obviously. Yeah, so adrenaline, if I get my heart rate up too much. Obviously missing medications, going on to new ones or going off old ones. This is what caused my new one, because I am on Vimpat. It's a bit blurry, but I'm on Vimpat. That's lacosamide. I was on Keppra. Now, for those of you who know Keppra, for those of you who don't take it. There's a very real thing that's called Keprage. Keprage is an absolute prick. So, don't take Keprage. Sorry, don't take Keppra, especially if you're taking Reandron with it. It does not end well for everything around you. But it's all good. Epilepsy in Australia, there's about 5,000 cases a year, which isn't too bad considering we have about 27 million. Yeah, it's about 5%-ish a year. Medication, obviously, I'm on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different medications for epilepsy. It's what it is. There's a lot of different medication, but you've got to find the right one. If you don't find the right one, more seizures. I am on what we call Cifrol. These are both for epilepsy and restless leg syndrome. Now, Cifrol, I think, are causing little seizures in me, so I've got to really watch out for it. If I need if I need to go off them, I will. I don't mind, because I don't want to have more seizures, The other two conditions I have off of Witcos are hyperflexity, where I can sort of pop my shoulders in and out, and my hips. So that's fine. It's not a major thing. It helps me play football. And the other one is oligodentia, or something. Really bad teeth. Extra teeth, small jaw. What can you do? Once I had the money, I would be going to my dentist to be like, take them all out, put falsies in there or implants, get it over and done with. But yeah. So, that's essentially Witcos. Now, my Witcos, because of Cowman syndrome, epilepsy, and my hernia, I am number 3 in the world that has those 3 issues, and the misspelling instead of the deletions. So it's very rare for me. So again, 7 billion or something in the world. So that's pretty cool. Yeah. Look, I make these videos because I want people to know you're not alone, and to ask any questions that you want to. I will do my best to answer them. You can follow me on Instagram at JeroJo3. Otherwise, yeah, thanks for dropping by, watching this video, and may God bless you all. Peace out.